it. Oh, it turned off. Can you hear me? You can't? All right, are we ready? Good morning. Last week, we talked about Moses and Moses leading the Israelites or Hebrews out of Egypt. And this week, we're going to talk about the boy and the giant, which is David and Goliath. And this is coming from 1 Samuel 16 through 17. This is the story of a young shepherd boy who faced a mighty giant and of how he trusted God to save him. The Israelites wanted a king, so God gave them Saul. Saul was a good king at first, but then he began to disobey God. So God decided to choose a new king. Go brought his next son to Samuel, and his next, and his next. 7 sons paraded before Samuel, but each time God said no. Do you have any more sons? Samuel asked. So Jesse sent for his youngest son, David, who was out tending sheep. When David came, God said, "He's the one, anoint him." Samuel took a horn of oil and poured it over David, and from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord was with him. But the Spirit of the Lord had left Saul, and an evil spirit came to trouble him. "Music will help you feel better," Saul's servant said. "Let us find someone to play the harp for you." One servant remembered that David played the harp and sent for him. Whenever the evil spirit troubled Saul, David would play his harp, and Saul would feel better. So David traveled back and forth from watching his father's sheep to play for Saul. Now Israel was at war with the Philistines. The Philistine army gathered on one hill, while Saul and the Israelites faced them on another hill. The Philistines had a warrior named Goliath, and he was a giant. He stood 9 feet and 9 inches tall. His armor weighed 125 pounds. He carried a huge bronze sword and a spear with a heavy iron point. One day, Goliath marched out and shouted, "There's no need for all of us to fight. Choose one man to fight me. If he wins, we'll be your servants. But if I win, then you'll be our servants." Saul and the Israelites were terrified. No one wanted to fight Goliath. Every morning and every evening for 40 days, Goliath marched out and shouted his challenge to the Israelites, but no one dared to fight him. Jesse's 3 oldest sons were at the battle with Saul. One day, Jesse told David to go and check on his brothers. David reached their camp and found his brothers just as Goliath came marching out. He listened to the giant's shouts and then watched as all the Israelites trembled with fear. "Who is this Philistine to challenge the armies of the living God?" David demanded. King Saul heard about what David had said and sent for him. "I'll fight this Goliath for you," David told Saul. "You can't fight that giant," Saul said. "You're just a boy." But David said, "When a lion or bear attacks my father's sheep, I grab it by its fur and strike it down. This giant will be like one of them. God saved me from the lion and the bear, and he'll save me from Goliath." Saul agreed to let David fight and even gave him his own armor to wear. David strapped it on and tried to walk. "I can't even walk in these," he said, and he took them off. Instead, David took his own staff and sling. Then, after putting 5 smooth stones in his pouch, he set off to face Goliath. When Goliath saw David coming, he shouted, "Am I a dog? You come to fight me with sticks?" But David said, "You come to fight me with a spear and a sword, but I come in the name of God, and he will hand you over to me." David ran toward Goliath. As he ran, he slipped a stone into his sling. Round and round went the sling, and at just the right moment, David let go. The stone sailed through the air. It hit Goliath right in the forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. When the Philistines saw that their great hero was dead, they ran away. The Israelites gave a great shout and chased after them. And that is how God used David, a young shepherd boy, to defeat the mighty giant Goliath. In David, we see a picture of courageous faith in God's power. We also catch a glimpse of the coming king who no one would have expected or picked to win the victory, Jesus. Because he died and rose again, he is mighty to save. "You will have suffering in this world. Be courageous. I have conquered the world." John 16:33. And today I brought a craft that shot with pipe cleaners and some rocks, and then we wrote, "For the battle is the Lord's," 1 Samuel 17:47. We always just need to remember that no matter what we're going through, the Lord is fighting our battle right alongside us, and we can just give it to him. I can't wait to see you guys back in church and back in Sunday school. Hopefully that will be soon. In the meantime, we're all praying for you. We love you.